Hi everyone, I'm David Vaucher. Welcome to Return on Racing. Usually I'd start the show with some commercial announcements, but that just seems out of place given the topic I'm going to cover today. So let's just get right into it. Today's episode is titled When Access Becomes Chaos, the Fan Safety Crisis Motorsport is Not Seeing. May 2nd, 1986. April 30th, 1994. May 1st, 1994. February 18th, 2001. October 5th, 2014. 5 dates, each tied to tragedy, and sadly, even more so than the individual lives lost, they don't even come close to cataloging all the deaths experienced by motorsports since their inception. In engineering, there's a saying, regulations are written in blood. If there's a silver lining to each death, if we can call it that, it's that the engineering field of motorsport has taken this to heart so that every loss is led, eventually, to reform. The result? Today, it has never been safer to participate in high level racing. Track design, crash structures, racing equipment, medical response, all of these have progressed to the point where driver safety is now so advanced that Romain Grosjean can be engulfed in fire and walk away. Jack Doohan can slam into a wall at Suzuka and step out of the car unscathed. Think about that. In 2025, a driver can go off track at what would have been a lethal speed not long ago, and social media is just as likely to gossip about their contract as the crash itself. Thankfully, spectator fatalities have also become rare, following the infamous catastrophes at Le Mans in 1955 and Rally de Portugal in 1986. So it is now also much safer to be on the track watching the race. But there's a blind spot, a big one in my view, one that I witnessed firsthand at the 2025 WEC 6 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps. After attending Friday's pit walk, I made a decision. Despite having tickets for both myself and my wife, we would return for Saturday. Why? Because Friday's pit lane was a highly unpleasant experience which could have been much, much worse than that. On Friday, I was shuffling through a crowd which seemed to have no structured flow, no visible safety staff, and a growing crush of people in a confined space. First-hand reports from Saturday confirmed the situation or only worsened, and if something had gone wrong, such as a medical emergency or even just a startling noise, the day could have turned tragic. My observation is that motorsport has gotten very good at protecting drivers and better at protecting fans from the on-track proceedings. But at a time when interest in motorsports is going vertical, the FIA seems to have overlooked the need to protect the growing crowds from themselves. This is not a new danger, as mass stampedes have unfortunately led to loss of life in many contexts. Again, the silver lining, and again, if we can call it that, is that best practices and guidelines now exist, yet my research on the FIA's website did not yield much in terms of crowd control documentation. The only serious FIA guidelines I could find regarding crowd control were in the WRC section, probably originally formulated in the wake of the bedlam of Group B, and this still falls under the categorization of spectator safety rather than crowd safety. As trackside access is increased at enclosed circuit events, we are entering a dangerous new phase, defined by the following relationship. More fans multiplied by more freedom equals more exposure to unmanaged risk. Perhaps I have missed a key piece of documentation, but take a look at the photo and the link that I provided in the article on Vaucher Analytics' website. Does it look like any guidelines were followed? Can you honestly imagine a Belgian fire marshal signing off on what you see in the picture? It is crucial that the FIA take action because the numbers have been flashing warning signs for years. Spa's attendance has grown roughly 36% since 2023 to reach nearly 100,000 fans in the 2025 running of it. And that's just one race. Spa and the other races on the WEC calendar all have different sections and experiences which must be managed safely, as well as the movement from one to the other. The cynical view that I'm already hearing is that the FIA will keep selling tickets for things like pit walks as long as there's demand for them, safety be damned. If money really is the driving force though, let's speak in commercial terms. TotalEnergies were the title sponsor of the race, and is one of the largest players in the oil and gas industry, whose obsession with safety comes from its own collection of gruesome incidents. Any perceived lapse in safety anywhere its name appears would be unacceptable. Safety is quite literally at the top of TotalEnergies' core values, and I wouldn't be surprised if any incident, or even a widespread perception that there could have been an incident, put future sponsorship at risk. In fact, here's another anecdote for you, again from just one day at Spa. I was nearly run over by a large truck attempting to reverse, under a grandstand, while hundreds of fans were streaming by. I was bumped by another fan, and thankfully kept my balance. But what if a small child had been in my position? I got lucky, and I can tell you from firsthand experience that such maneuvers, without proper protocols to keep people away, would be unacceptable on any of Total Energy's field locations. My fear is that motorsport is again careening down a treacherous road it's already traveled, waiting for something to go wrong before writing the rules. It's worth mentioning also that I pitched this article as a guest editorial with no expectation of anything in return to several online publications and never received so much as an acknowledgement from any of them. So let's not go down this path. I want to enjoy a day at the track with my wife, and another after that, and another, until we can't physically go to the track anymore. I want the same for everyone else and their family. Let's not wait until we're reading about another disaster, this time not involving a car, but a crowd. Not a fatal crash, but a failed evacuation. Not a broken barrier, but a blocked tunnel. This isn't about catastrophizing, it's about foresight. It's about respecting people's very lives by assuring them that if they show up at an FIA event, the only strong emotion they will feel is the joy they experience as a hypercar or Formula One car flashes by them. Before I close this episode, I do want to mention that when I published this article, I tagged several different Instagram accounts that were all relevant to this. So the Spa account, there's the actual track account. I tagged the account for the 6 hours of Spa. I tagged the FIA account. I even found, and this is publicly available, the email for the office of the CEO of the FIA. I sent them a note just expressing my concerns, again, with no expectation of anything in return. It did not see anything so much as an acknowledgement coming back to me. So if I have missed something, if the FIA is already taking or has taken action on this, please do drop me a line. The email address is contact@vaucheranalytics.com. But if you feel like I do that there's a potential blind spot here, please do consider contacting the FIA. Hopefully, if enough people bring these concerns to light, then we can see something done about it and hopefully avoid a major catastrophe down the line. As always, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for taking your time to listen to Return on Racing, and I will see you on the next episode.